Hey, hello and welcome again. Today we are talking about podcasting. Remember, we're in the series of trying to help you as a senior consultant or educator, whether you're retired, close to retirement, and you're just overworked, you're just tired. You want to get out of this thing, but you want to live your lifestyle. You want to have your lifestyle. You want to have things taken care of for you. You want to have income coming in. We are talking about how to digitize your expertise in different work, in different formats, in different products and services, but by working less. All right. Now, in podcasting, we spoke about what is a podcast, why a podcast. We talk about how podcasts work, how to plan your podcast. All right. And today we are talking about how to monetize your podcast. Right. And so let's go and get it done by connecting you directly to the presentation of getting your podcast monetized. All right. So how do we do this? Now, we want to talk about live shows. You could have live shows where people are communicating on the shows, where people raise their hands. You can have call in, and people are, what they're doing is that when people do this, you could actually do giveaways. For this, of course, you have to pay a fee to come into your live show. All right. So that fee is monetizing your podcast, right? Then you have dynamic advertisements where the advertisements are before your podcast start, could be within the podcast, or it could be at the end of the podcast. So you have like advertisers who pay you to advertise their product or their services during your podcast because they like what you're doing. All right. So they can actually pay you for this, and this is monetizing your podcast. All right. Now, of course, you have backed in advertisement, which is similar to the dynamic, but the difference is that what happened is that there's an actual sponsor who's sponsoring your podcast and paying you to actually do more podcasts. And because they're paying you, they could actually be like just a sponsor to the whole thing, a whole series. It could be to the whole all the episodes, right? To the whole podcast itself. So that's like an investor, right, in your podcast. Then you have the podcast sponsorship, which goes in, which is similar to the back end, but they're not doing everything. They're sponsoring specific things. So they want, for example, you to do a podcast on a specific topic in that area, and they pay for that, right? So they determine what is shared, right? They could say, okay, I want you to do a series on this particular area of your expertise, and we're going to pay for that. So that's different. That's still monetizing. It's similar, but they're not paying for just anything. They're paying for what they want to hear. All right. Then you have premium content, which is where you are only sharing this content to specific clients. So they're paying for this. There are no ads on this podcast now, where they're just getting your raw content, no advertisement, but they're paying premium price for that information specific to them, how to solve a specific problem. So you do a podcast on that and they pay for that, right? That's monetizing premium content, not just the general content. Because remember, I said before, there are different people that you're marketing to. They're your audience, then you have your community, then you have your clients. You're not giving your clients, your audience, everything that your clients are getting. You're not giving your audience everything that your community is getting. Your community are those people who are directly connected to you and waiting for you to share information and communicating with you. Your audience are just general public who will listen to what you have to say, but they're not really interacting with you. And of course, your clients are those who are paying to hear what you have to say. All right. You have to remember they're different. All right. Most podcasts are done for audience, which is everybody. But everybody in a specific industry who want to hear a specific topic. But the solutions given are not the same level or the same quality as what is given to the client. It's just different, or the community. It's just different. And that's something you learn when you hire a coach like me to show you the difference, how to separate your content. All right, very important. Of course, then you have repurposing your podcast on different formats, different platforms, sorry. For example, you can not just have your podcast on the podcast apps or the channel apps only. You can repurpose it on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram or something else, some other format. So you can repurpose it on different platforms. All right. And on those different platforms, you can actually have people paying you for your content on those different platforms. All right. Sponsoring or donating or whatever it is. Right. So those are ways of monetizing your podcast that you can use any one of them, or you could mix them and that sort of thing. All right. So this is crucial information to monetize your podcast. You can enroll in anyone. And as I said, if you want any more information in relation to monetizing your podcast, hey, join me. Let's talk about it. Click on the link below, get on my calendar, book a time with me, and let's talk about how you like to monetize your podcast. All right. Or you like to create a podcast, or you like to digitize your expertise into any of the formats. All right. Coming up next, we're going to have how to turn your expertise into a mastermind group, right? Mastermind group. That's what's going to come up next. So look out for it. But in the meantime, let's deal with podcasting. Click on the link below and let's meet. All right, let's connect. Free consultation, meeting with me, showing you where you can find more information in developing your podcast and creating your podcast. All right. Hey, glad you're here. Glad you're listening to this. And thanks. If you wanted to suggest anything else, hey, just send me a comment in the link below, or just send me a comment on the platform and let me know what you think. All right. My blog, if you're listening to this on my blog, you're listening to it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, which is where I post most of it, on YouTube. Hey, just send me a comment as to what you want to hear about in terms of digitizing your expertise, in terms of converting expertise, but doing it with less time, less hours of work, but more value, more income, more clients, more people you're helping. All right. And remember, we are focusing here on getting much more done with less. All right. So see you. Bye-bye.